Welcome to Yoga with Lucy. Thank you for joining me today. We've got a short yoga flow this morning and we're going to be starting kneeling. So if you can, kneeling down on the floor, you can always grab a cushion or a blanket under your knees if they feel a bit fussy here. And if kneeling back like that so that you're sitting on your heels isn't comfortable, you can always start off kneeling up. Let's take a couple of breaths just to get settled in. Long, deep inhale through the nose. Sigh it out. And another. We're going to tuck the toes under here. So lifting up, tucking the toes, and then sinking back down. Finding a stretch in the soles of the feet here, in the toes, somewhere we don't often stretch. And I want to acknowledge here that this is not the most comfortable position to be in. And if you do feel like you need to lift up a little bit, or if you feel like you need to come out of the posture at any time, please feel free. Inhaling to reach up to the ceiling. Bring the palms together, and then as you exhale, bring them down to heart center. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling to reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Pressing into the hands. Turn one hand so the fingertips face down, and we'll press so that you get a stretch in that top wrist. And then let's switch. Okay, I'm sure you're ready to come out of this now. Let's bring the hands down to the mat, spread the fingers wide, untuck the toes, tops of the feet come down to the mat. It might feel nice to give them a little tap. And then we're pressing into the fingertips, into the knuckles. Inhaling to soften the belly down, lift the chest, look forward. Exhale to tuck the tailbone, arch the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, soften the belly down, lift the chest, look forward. Exhale, arch the spine, chin to chest. Come back to center. Walk the hands a little way out in front. Tuck the toes again, and we're sending the hips up and back to downward dog. Taking a few breaths here, so finding stillness or movement, your choice. You might move by dropping one knee and then the other. Kind of this pedaling motion feels quite nice sometimes in downward dog. If you're feeling a little bit more energetic, you want a bit more of an active movement, you could round forward into plank and then push back again. You might sway side to side. And then we'll bend the knees generously, look towards the top of the mat, step the right foot forward. If it doesn't land straight between the hands, just pick it up, give it a little shuffle. Gently, with control, lower the back knee, untuck the toes, sweep the arms up. Take a deep breath here. In this low lunge, your fingertips are pointing and reaching up to the ceiling, but your shoulders are down away from your ears. Bring the hands together and bring them out in front. So palms together, fingertips pointing forward. And then we're keeping the right hand where it is. With the left hand, we're going to draw a line up the right arm, across the chest, reach to the back of the room. Back hand comes to rest on the back leg. Flip that front palm, reach up and back, looking up at the top hand. Nice deep breaths here. And then the right hand is going to come down towards the mat, or maybe fingertips come to the mat. Left hand reaches up to the ceiling. Nice and open in the chest here. So if this bottom hand can't get down to the mat without you kind of rounding forward, let it hover. You might even bring elbow to knee. Top hand reaching up. Maybe you start to reach it forward, keeping the openness in the chest. And then bring it back to center. So your right hand is forward, left hand is back. Back hand comes down and to the front. This time left hand stays where it is. Right hand draws a line up the arm, across the chest, reach to the back of the room, and we're tipping forward. So this left hand or fingertips are coming down to the mat. Right hand reaching up to the ceiling, twisting the body round. Right hand comes down, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step back to plank. From here, pushing up to downward dog, hips up and back. Still pressing into the fingertips, into the knuckles. Take a deep breath. Bend the knees, look to the top of the mat, step the left foot forward. Gently, with control, lower the back knee. Sweep the arms up. Back to this low lunge. And again, just checking in, making sure your shoulders aren't lifted up around your ears. Fingertips still reaching up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath. Then palms come together, bring them out in front. Left hand stays where it is this time. Right hand is tracing a line up the arm, across the chest, reach for the back of the room. And then back hand comes to rest on the back leg. Flip the front palm, reach up and back. Just a side note, in any of these lunges, if you feel really wobbly, you can always widen your stance a bit. So walking the front foot slightly out to the outer edge of the mat just gives yourself a bit of a wider base to work with. Okay, left hand is coming down towards the mat. Right hand is reaching up to the ceiling. Again, noticing that opening in the chest, noticing if you started to collapse forward, maybe lifting a bit, maybe elbow to knee. Right hand maybe reaching up to the ceiling or maybe starting to reach forward. Take a breath. And then right hand reaches back, left hand forward. Bring the back hand down and to the front. Right hand stays where it is this time, left hand draws that line. Reach into the back of the room. And then we're tipping forward, right hand or fingertips down to the mat, left hand reaching up to the ceiling. One breath. Left hand comes down. We're stepping back to all fours and then to child's pose. Knees as wide as the yoga mat, big toes to touch. Sending hips back towards heels, forehead down towards the mat. And we're pausing here in this child's pose, just to reconnect, to find some stillness, to find those deep breaths. In a moment, we're going to do exactly the same as we've just done, but in a higher lunge, coming into Warrior Two. If you're not keen on that idea, if that doesn't feel good for you today, feel free to do exactly what we've just done. I'll give the option to keep that back knee lowered. Making your way to downward dog now. Taking 3 deep breaths in your downward dog, finding either movement or stillness, your choice. And on your last breath, you might sigh out through the mouth. Bend the knees, look to the top of the mat, step the right foot forward. Option to lower that back knee or keep it lifted as we rise up. Fingertips reaching up to the ceiling, shoulders away from the ears, bending into that front knee. Palms come together. Bring them out in front. Right hand stays where it is, and you're tracing that line again with the left hand. If you've got the back knee lifted, at this point you're going to drop the back heel down and then turn to face the front, looking straight over that front hand, and we're in Warrior Two. Back hand to back leg, flip the front palm, reach up and back. Side angle pose, and we've got those options. So right hand either reaching down towards the ground or resting the elbow on the knee, and just resting, not collapsing down into that knee. Top hand reaching up or forward. Back to Warrior Two. Back hand comes down and to the front. If your knee is lifted, we're going to lift up onto the back toes now. So we're in that high lunge, or maybe your back knee is lowered and you're in that low lunge. Left hand stays where it is, right hand traces a line. And we're tipping forward, left hand coming down to the mat, right hand reaching up to the ceiling. Bring the right hand down. If you've got the back knee lowered, lift it now, and we're stepping back to plank. Lower the knees, untuck the toes. We're lowering chest and chin, and we're landing them between the hands. And then as we inhale, sweep the chest forward and up, cobra. Tuck the toes, send the hips up and back, downward dog. And again, we're taking 3 deep breaths in downward dog. Maybe you sigh out as you exhale. Last one. Bend the knees, look to the top of the mat. Step the left foot forward. Again, option to keep the back knee lifted or lower it down as you reach the fingertips up to the ceiling for a lunge, bending into the front knee. Bring the palms together, bring them out in front. Left hand stays where it is, right hand traces a line up the arm, across the chest, reach for the back of the room, dropping the back heel as you do so. Turn to look over that front hand, Warrior Two. Back hand to back leg, flip the front hand, reach up and back, reverse warrior. And then we're coming forward to side angle pose, either reaching down or resting elbow and knee. Top hand reaching up to the ceiling or bringing it forward, keeping that openness in the chest, keeping those long deep breaths. Back to Warrior Two. Bottom hand comes down and to the front. Lift the back heel. This time right hand stays where it is, left hand traces that line. Tipping it forward, right hand or fingertips down to the mat, left hand reaches up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath. Left hand comes down. If you've got the back knee lifted, if you've got it lowered, lift it now. And we're stepping back to plank. Bringing the knees down to the mat. Cross one ankle over the other. Walk the hands back and come to seated. Sitting comfortably. Doesn't have to be cross-legged, however you want to sit. Crown of the head, reaching up to the ceiling. Let's take a stretch. And bring hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. We'll close the practice here with 3 deep breaths together. Big inhale through the nose. And sigh it out. Let's do 2 more. I'm going to close the practice here. If you want to sit for longer in a seated meditation, or if you want to come down to lying on your back in Shavasana, please pause the video here and take as long as you need. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.